Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Woo! Okay, we are going to be talking about the abacus. So, let's see who is coming in. Let me check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is hello, Huntfish25 and Alan. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to be counting on the abacus. What is this crazy thing? This crazy thing is going to help me count on the abacus. Oh, and I wonder if you can hear me. Now, hey, RW Lada. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 5. So how do I know? Well, what happens is this is the horizontal bar. This horizontal bar, hello, Dr. Melissa and Kelly. What we're doing is we're counting on the abacus. This is a crazy counting tool to help kids understand how to do math. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do adding, subtraction, multiplication, division. But the first thing we need to do is we need to understand, how do we read the abacus? What is this crazy thing? We're going to read the abacus. Hello, hello. Hello, Mammy and Timmy and Jennifer. Yes, so what are we going to do? What we're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4. How do I know? Because these beads are touching this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar tells me that this is counted, that these beads are being counted. Now, just like how we have a die, right? This is my die. Hello, Alex, and Mindy, and Mystique, and Christina. Wow, that's a lot of people. Okay, so just like my die. Where's my die? There it is. 4, right? So we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. 4. Hello, Sky, and Carmen, and Nico, and Zenab. Okay, hello there. I like that name. Hello there. Hey, Brandon. Okay, so we have 4, right? And then well, what happens after 4? Well, we have 5. Where is 5? I don't see 5. Well, the 5 will always be the top bead, and that's going to be the top bead. Hey, my name is Lynette. We're talking about the abacus. And this is a counting tool. This is a calculator, a calculating tool to help children. Hello, Angela, and Lani, and Bianca, and Matthew. Hello, Matthew. What is it for? It's to teach the children how to do number sense. Have good number sense in math and arithmetic. So we're talking about adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Multiplication and division. Hello, neurodivergent parent. Oh, you might actually like this. So we have 5. What does that mean? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're counting on the abacus. This counting abacus is my counting tool. This helps me understand how to do math on the abacus. So we're going to count, and just till we can understand how to read the abacus. So we have 4, and then if notice, that's 4. Hey, Suki and Saint and Kiki and Mr. Sir and Sweet Honey, Trevs and Bianca, Charles, and Snow Baby Boss. Okay, sorry. So going back, where is 5? 5 is up here. 5 will always be up here. Let me know if anybody has any questions. 5 will always be up here no matter what. So this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this is 5. So why are we counting on the abacus? Well, this actually helps children. Hello, everybody. Dora, Jen, and Kevin, and Logo Mez, Cece, and Himsifer. That's funny. Sorry. Okay. So this is 5, this is 5, this is 5. So what does that mean? Well, these all have the value of 5. So when we count, we have 5. That's what this is, 5, right? So 5. And then we have 6. This is 6. This is 7, right? 5, 6, 7. This is 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hello. Hi, Ash. Hi, Flacco. And Ches. Okay, so what's after 9? Well, we know what's after 9. It's 10. But how do you see that on the abacus? To do 10 is just like how we do, hello, everybody, hello. Just like how we do the 10, like we write it, it's a 1 and a 0. So how do I know? Why am I here in the middle? Because if you notice, there is this dot in the middle. That's our label. This label tells us that we are now in the ones place. So we have the ones place. Hi, Nat, and Virtuous Living. Oh, I think they left. So then we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and our 10,000. But notice now I have 2 dots. These 2 dots, it doesn't matter which 2 dots you choose. You could choose this one or you could choose this one. I chose this one so we can have, thank you so much for the likes. I can have a bigger number or I can have a smaller number. It all just depends on where I am. So we're counting on the abacus, and this is a counting tool. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Lady E, welcome back. 4, and then 5, 6, right? We have 6, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I'm doing is I'm counting because we need to learn how to read the abacus before we can do, hello, Pumpkin Pixie. We have to learn to read the abacus so then we can actually start doing some adding, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So the first thing we're doing is we're just learning to read. How do you have low hearts like you're teaching some life never stood and I'm curious about? You know, I'm just here, but I do understand. I try my best. I try my best to teach and to explain. But it comes when it comes and it does when it does. And I appreciate everybody that's here that's willing to listen. So I'm very happy you guys are all here. How do you do multiplication? Well, before we do multiplication, let's do some adding and subtracting. So, oh my God, Lady E, 1:22 a.m. That's crazy. That's very late for you. And you wake up super early. That's nuts. So the first thing we're going to do before we do multiplication, let's figure out how to read on the abacus. So as we read on the abacus, thank you, Christina. I do hope that my numbers will go up, but we'll see. Okay, so we have 9. How do I know? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 9. That's 9. So then if I do this and I do this, what number, please put in the chat, what number do you think this is? Now, when we look at it, sticky buns. I like yeah. Okay. We have ones, tens, and our hundreds. So when we look at it, what number do we think this is? If we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? If this is 9, let me know in the chat what number you think this is. If this is our tens and this is our hundreds. Hello. 719. Yes, absolutely right. Thank you so much, Joy, for answering. And then welcome everybody, X-Driver 69. So we do 69. Let's do 69 on the abacus. So that is 69. So then if we do 69, we have 70. How do we do 70? Well, we do 7, right? 70. And then 80, right? We have 80. And then 90. And then again, when we have 90, this is 100. Hey, Margot. Let me know if anybody has any questions other than like more complicated questions. We could do multiplication. It was just one of the things I want to make sure is that we understand how to read the abacus. When we learn to read the abacus, we can start going into adding and subtracting or multiplication. Because we'll do like easy multiplication. Wow. Yes. Hi. 3. Less than 3. That's not nice. Less than 3. But we also talk about it, right? I do like that thing. Your username. Okay, so anybody have any questions? So we're going to do simple adding, right? It's easy. We do 2 plus 2, right? Easy. Because then we see, as children, we see that this is 4. Now, if we do plus 5, we have 5. It's supposed to be a heart. Oh, a sideways heart. Yes. Yeah. Oh, you know what? It's either a sideways heart or it's a kiss. And I'm like, I didn't want to be too promiscuous there. So I was just like, we'll just do less than 3. But yes. Okay. Thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for following me. Let me know if you have any other questions, but we're going to continue on. So what we're going to do, that was a really simple thing to do adding, right? Adding was, we'll do like this one. This is super easy, right? We're going to do 5 and then we're going to add the 2. That's like super easy, right? Why? Because the question is do we have enough beads? And yes, we have enough beads. Now, when the children go through it, they're going to see more things, right? They're going to learn how to, they're going to learn how to read the abacus. So this one was trying to get them to understand what, it's a 1-to-1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 lions. We have 5 lions, right? So I wanted them to do is I wanted to write the number, right? Write the number. And then here they were supposed to find the number. So on our abacus, because we have a real one, and this was a picture one, this is what 5 looks like. Right? So that's what 5 looks like. So then let's do some adding and subtracting so we can go on to multiplication and division. Okay, so if you notice, what I did here is, hey, wow, there's a lot of people that go, anyways. So I'm just trying to see all the people are coming in. Thank you so much for following my live. X-Driver. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we're going to add 6. We're going to show 6. 6 is on the abacus right now, right? Well, how do I know this is being added? Well, I'm counting it because these 2 beads are touching the horizontal bar. When they touch the horizontal bar, that's no, I have counted. So my next number is 2. So notice I'm going to add 2 beads. These are the 2 beads I'm going to add. So when I add it, right, we all know what number that is. That number is 8. And it's interesting because there was a video that I was like watching just to like see how everybody else like teaches and stuff. And they were really focused on the answer. They were really focused on the result. But in Abacus, we're actually focused on the process. So what does that mean? Well, what we do in Abacus is we focus in on what the add-in is. So here we notice, if you notice I put plus 2. Well, my question revolves around, how do you add a 2? How do you add a 2? So here is 7, and then I add a 2. There is 2. So then my answer is 9. Again, I do it again here. When I look at it, I have 2, and then I add it again, and my answer, my add-in, my second add-in is 2. So my answer is 4. So then I have it where I have like little activities. So the children are supposed to answer the activities, and they're supposed to find the answer on the puzzle. So, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, welcome. Welcome, Jamie. Welcome. And Cole and Mr. Sir. Mr. Sir. Ha, that's funny. I have a friend that we call Mr. because his name is Saeed, and I forget what language it is, but it was like Mr. So anyways, and then he didn't translate it well, so his name is just Mr. Anyways, so again, if you notice, I have my second add-in. I focus on the 3. Why? Because I want to focus on the second add-in and not the result. We don't worry about the result because everybody's result will always be different, right? If the result is the same, but the path to get there, it's like life. Oh, okay, great. So sorry, I'm just catching up on it's like Roman numerals. It's kind of like Roman numerals, but you know what? Somebody that was talking about it, they were talking about, Christina, they were talking about it's kind of like the tally marks. And I'm like, you know what? I can go for that. I love bit manipulation, especially single instruction, multiple data on 265 buses. You're the best. Thank you. Oh, thank you. It's supposed to be a heart. I didn't see these comments until later. It's so crazy. Okay, so like Roman numerals, what was I going to do? Oh, I was going to show you, it's like a tally mark, right? So when we do tallies, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So this would be 5. And then we have 6, right? So then we have 6. Oh, yeah, that's more on point. Yeah, right? I was looking at it and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Because I was like, no, it's not. But then I was like, I need to open my eyes, open my mind. And it's like, oh, yeah, that does make sense. And that was the one thing, is like trying to figure out, like, how to relate it to mainstream math, because Abacus is not new math. I'm just letting you know it's not new math. What it is really super old math, but just people don't know what it is. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show the world how wonderful and great this is next to sliced bread. And I'm super old. So we have 7, right? We have 7. So just like this, we have 7. And then there's 8, and there's 8, and then there's 9, and then there's 9. But notice now we have our tally mark. We do a 10, but we don't do 10. We do 10 like this. Now we talk about place value, right? Place value, just like how this is the 10s when we write, and then this is the 1s. Okay, so that is about reading the abacus. So we're okay about reading the abacus, and then we're okay with how do we do adding and subtracting. So when we add and subtract, the one thing that we're doing here is I wanted to show the kids what it was like to add the 3 and all the different scenarios of adding the 3. So we have 3, and then we have 1. So we plus the 1. So my answer is 4. Here is the other way around. This one is 6, right? This one's 6. Oh, can't see. Sorry. So this one is 6 over here. This one's 6. And what I want to do is I want to add 3. What I want to do is add a 3. So this is 9. So thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much. And anybody have any more questions? But we're going to continue on. So that's adding. And it's simple, right? It's simple. The reason why it's simple, because we have enough beads to add. So that's not the problem. The next thing that we're going to do is, you know what? We can go into multiplication. We can do something simple multiplication. And then I can carry on with the adding and subtracting. All right. So in Abacus, what we actually do is we do not memorize anything higher than 9. And there's a lot of people are like, yes, because after 9 it's redundant. So when we do like 9 times 9, this is a math fact that you need to know. So one of the things that we can talk about is let's do something easy, right? Let's do 12 times 5. So the first thing we do is we need to figure out where our starting point is. This makes me want to buy an abacus. Yes, Kevin. Yes, you can. It's fantastic. It's really great. It's nice. It's a nice fidget if you like to do like fidgeting, because I like to fidget sometimes, and so it's nice a fidget like a fidget spinner. And then what else? Oh, you could do it as a skateboard, or it could be a massager. But it's a little bit of a kind of small to be a massager. Anyways, so the one thing we want to do is we want to find our starting point. To find our starting point, what we need to do is we need to count our digits. So we have 3 digits, 1, 2, 3. So just as we have here, where would I be starting? Just so you know, where would I be starting? Ian is Ian. Ian is Ian. No, Lane is Lane. There we are. Where do we start? Oh, I missed it. What did you miss? There's nothing you missed. You didn't miss anything. We're just starting it. We are just starting. You didn't miss anything. We are going to be counting this. So when we count our digits, we're going to count our digits. When we count our digits, we just need to count 1, 2, 3. That's it. 1, 2, 3. So we are going to start at the hundreds column. Nobody missed anything. We just started. So here we're going to start in the hundreds column. Now we're going to divide out. 5 times 1 is equal to 5. 5 is a single digit, right? 5 is a single digit. So what I need to do is I need to go back 1 column. Hello, yes it. I need to go back 1 column and add the 5, right? So I add the 5. Hey, Subinar. Thank you so much for sharing my live. So we're going to add the 5. So we add the 5. Not a problem, right? Not a problem. Now, what are we going to do? So we did the 1 times 5. Now we got to do the 5 times 2. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. So all I got to do is add the 1 and the 0. So my answer is 60. 6, 0. That's it. That's how we do multiplication on the abacus. Easy? Easy. Simple to use, easy to understand. Simple to use, easy to understand. Thank you so much for sharing my live. Thank you so much for following. Thank you so much for following. Woo! All right, Stormwalker. It's really stormy right now too. I hope you can walk in my storm. There's a storm brewing in Southern California. Oh, I think that person left. So, Swibinar, do we have any questions? Bone Thugs and Harmony. I haven't heard them in so long. I do. Are they still touring? Whew. That's like old. Ooh, yeah, right? Easy peasy. Super easy. Super easy. Easy to remember. Easy to use. So, easy to understand. Okay, so let's do the next one. Let's do the next one. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do 14 times that by 7. Same thing, right? Same thing. So we're going to find our starting point. We're going to count our digits. 1, 2, 3. Right? So when we count it, we're going to start in which column? Which column are we going to start in? 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start in the hundreds column, right? So when we start in the hundreds column, I'm going to put my finger here just to remember, because short-term memory. I don't choose to remember these things. So we're going to do 7 times 1. When we do 7 times 1, 7 times 1 is 7. 7 is a single digit. So what do? We actually have to go back 1 column and we add 7. Right? And we add 7 because that's my product. So now this is called partial product, right? So now the next one we're going to do is 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. So I add my 2, right? I add my 20, and I add my 8, and then I add my 8. Hey, welcome, Fabi. Make sense? And that's how we do multiplication. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. So yeah, again, we don't memorize up to 12. There's no point. So we just go up to 9 and then we're done. So, but usually the kids will start off with learning how to add and subtract. We kind of jump the gun a little bit, but that's okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, make sure that the kids know, because, this was meant for, I wanted to start the children young, because this was meant for preschoolers, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Maybe 7? Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Hope to see you around. And so we have the preschool abacus. And so what we're doing is here we have the adding and subtracting. But that's like towards the end. The first thing that they need to do is they need to understand how to read the abacus. And that's what all these activities are for. The activities are to help engage them, to get them to realize what the 3 is, what the 2 is, and so forth. So Now what we're going to do is we're going to be adding on the abacus, right? So here we have 6 and then we have 2. I wanted the children to see that we're only adding these 2 beads. It doesn't matter what 2 beads, but as long as it's 2 beads. And they'll see it. They'll be able to see that they're adding these 2 beads. So when they add it, then they have to count. They have to understand. 5, 6, 7, 8. So when they see this, they know that this is 8. How do I know that this is being counted? It's being counted because these beads are touching these beams. Read banned books. Woo! Are you in Florida? Because there's a lot of banned books in Florida. Okay, sorry. So, anybody have any questions other than multiplication? Do we have any other questions? Yes, it. Charles, Kevin, Subanar, and JB. I don't know how to. Okay. So here we have is 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that is adding, and then we keep on going, and oh yeah, and so that was the thing. So one of the things I was trying to do is hey, Kevin Thomas, you were here. Weren't you just here? Okay, so again, we don't want to focus on the answer. What we want to focus on is the process. So one of the question was like 4 plus 4. We actually don't memorize doubles either because it's useless. Why is it useless? It's not useless. It's very limited in scope because you could only do this in the adding process, right? So what does that look like on the abacus? Well, if we look on the abacus, we want to add the 4, and notice we don't have any more beads to add the 4. We won't have enough beads to add another 4. So if we're not going to add another 4, what are we going to do? Abacus uses this thing where school is teaching how to make a 5. When we make a 5, it's 1 plus 4 is equal to 5, right? Or 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, or 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. We take this concept and we actually level it up. Why? Because this is a very critical concept. This concept is very foundational for abacus. Now, in school, that's as far as it goes. They don't do anything else with it. But in abacus, we actually take it one step further. What we're going to do is we're going to take this abacus, we're going to take this variable, and we're going to isolate it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this this 1, and we're going to move it to the other side of the equation. So what happens is this turns into a -1. When this turns into a -1, we have 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. So what's going to happen is now we have our sentence. Our addition sentence equation. In abacus we call it formula. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my variable, my variable. I'm going to substitute this into here. So what does that mean? Well, notice it says plus the 5 is equal to minus the 1. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add the 5 and I'm going to take away the 1. And now my answer is 8. Okay, I mean, that's it. That's it. We're done. No. So again, we don't actually memorize our doubles. But what we do is that we put it in different scenarios so then the kids can see where else they can go. So that's where this comes in. So if you notice, after they finish the preschool abacus, then they go into how to make a 5. When they make a 5, we start going into step by step as well. So just as we talked about the 4, here we can do it again. We have 2. So I have 2 here. And now what do? Well, what I want to do is I want to add the 5, right? This is the formula that they need to memorize. So I want to add the 5 is equal, plus 4 is equal to plus 5 minus 1. Because why? I don't have enough beads. So this is where we have a conversation, right? We have a conversation with our numbers. So the question is do we have enough? No, we don't have enough. So what do? We have to plus the 4 is plus the 5 minus the 1. So when I'm thinking about it, these are usually kids that they don't understand what we're trying to do. So here is a little story I had them to say. Like if I need to get the 5, right, I have to go to the cats in the tree. So there's 5 cats in the tree. So there's 5 cats in the tree. So I'm going to add 5 cats in the tree, grab 4 cats, and then 1 cat runs away. So having this little story, the kids will understand that they need to plus the 5 and minus the 1. So when they do that, my answer is now 6. So it's very much tactile. So here, hi, shadowed. So here, let's do 3, right? So again, we do 3, and then is there enough to add? Is there enough to add the 4? Because I'm over here adding the 4. No, there's not enough beads to add the 4. So what do? I got to go to the cats in the tree. So I'm going to go to the cats in the tree, right? That's what this is, cats in the tree. Hi, Big Red Fox and Rabina. Add, and then what I need to do is grab 4 cats, and I'm going to take away 1. So what happens is my answer is now 7. So that's what the story is right here. So these cats in the tree, there are 5 cats in the tree. So, anybody have any questions? Woo, okay. We can do is we're going to continue to count. So just in case you came on board, thank you so much for liking my live, Big Red Fox. So we're going to just count. So because sometimes we don't understand like what we're looking at. So what we're looking at is this thing called an abacus, and this abacus helps count and does adding, subtracting, multiplication, division. The first thing that everybody needs to do, I mean, even when I started learning how to do the abacus, I needed to learn how to read the abacus. In order to read the abacus, we need to know that this horizontal bar is what tells us that it's being counted. And as we know that the horizontal bar is being counted, these beads that touch the horizontal bar are being counted. So when we look, we have 5. All the top bead will always have 5. So let me remove that. So now none of the top beads are touching. So we have 2. 1, 2, and then 3, 4. And then, as I said before, the top bead will have a value of 5, just like a tally mark. So, so we have 5 here. Now, why am I here and nowhere else? Well, I deem this as my ones column. So just like how I have like a label, this label is my dot. If you see the dot here and you see the dot here, these are my labels. I can deem these as my ones. So when I say that these are my ones, then my next one would be over here, which would be tens. So I'm having my ones here and my tens over here. So let's continue to count. We have 5, and then we have 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Super easy, right? Easy, simple to use, easy to understand. So when we look at it, hi Jody, when we look at it, this would be 10. So we have 10. How do I know? Because we have 1 and 0, and then 11, and then 12, 13, and then 14. And then again, we have 15. 15 is our top bead right here. Hey, Nana. So we're just counting on the abacus. We have 15, and then we add one more, 16, and then 17, 18, and then 19. Oh, Keeks! Hi! Hello! Hi, Nana. Who else? And then Kevin Thomas. And then Big Red Fox keeps coming in and out. But anyways, how are things? How are things, Nana? Glitter Gammy, welcome. Okay, so we're counting on the abacus. So this is 19. How do I know this is 19? Because these beads are touching this horizontal bar. This horizontal bar is what lets us know which beads are being counted. So if you notice, these, I was just talking about you with my co-teacher today. Woo! Yeah, and how did it go? They were like, I don't know what an abacus is. Why is this such a strange thing? I don't want to be learning new math. Did they say that? Oh, so what was the thing? I mean, that was the other thing, was I was really quite interested to see like if it was even possible to bring it in, because why? I really do believe that this is the greatest thing next to sliced bread. So intervention. Yeah, math intervention. I was just thinking about you too. But you know, the other thing I was thinking about is I was going to figure out how to incorporate like grade math into abacus. Yeah. So anyways. So here we are. We're back to here. And then the reason why I was over here was because, why? Because I use this dot as my label. This label is my ones place. So I have my ones, I can be my ones over here, or I can be my ones over here. So I have my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, and my 10,000s. So this abacus actually shows what it would look like. Big monkey man. welcome. So this is what shows me the place value. So again, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9, and then 10. 10. That's 10 because it's a 1 and a 0. And that's it. That's it. So thank you so much for the hearts and the present. I'm so confused. Oh, thank you for the rose. Thank you for the rose. And that was my dog. Okay, so Keeks, did you have any more? Do you? I'm just going to continue on adding and subtracting, and then we can continue on if that's okay. I don't know where else to. Okay, so I don't know if you left off with understanding that we actually make a 5. You know when school we talk about making 5s, and that's actually a really great thing to make a 5. And when we make a 5, it's 4 plus 1, right? 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So 4 plus 1 is 5. That's easy, easy. But why are we doing that? Because we're going to take it one step further. I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to continue on with my little thing. So we're going to be adding. So what we need to do is in Abacus, we need to understand that 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. Right? The other one was 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Thank you so much for the follow. I'm lost. Don't be lost. You just followed me. You're not going to be lost. Lost 2100. Okay, so plus the 5. So I'm hopefully you won't be lost when you learn Abacus. Sorry. Okay. So again, school talks about this, right? That's not a problem. That's great. It's good. But what happens is that's where it stops. And what Abacus does is actually takes it to the next level. What we do is we take it up a notch. And when we take it up a notch, we're actually going to do is we're going to isolate the variable. This is the variable we want to isolate. We want to isolate this 4. When we isolate this 4, we're going to rearrange this equation. Why? Because then we can start using it in other adding and subtracting. So what happens is we're going to add the 4. When we add the 4, we want to add the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. Now, I'm not sure when you use the record rec if you use formulas. I don't think you use formulas, but in Abacus we need to use formulas. Now, these are the formulas we need to do. The reason why is because we have to understand how to manipulate this 5 beat. We were talking about how this would be over our kids' heads. All the formulas are tricky. No, it wouldn't be tricky. It would be slow. You have to take it slow for the kids because I'm talking to adults, right? So I'm hoping that they all understand. Like we have a kind of a general idea, but when the kids do it, you take it slow. The first thing to do would be to first add and subtract simply. Make them to understand how to add and subtract, right? So the first thing we need to do is we'll be doing this. After we do this, then we start going into how to make a 5. So here, when we do 1, we have 1 plus 7. So we have 1 and then plus 7. Keeks, how old are the children? Are they kindergarten? I'm just assuming. Hello, Ella. And the formulas don't, and with the formulas, I wouldn't introduce them like all at once. We do K to 4. Okay. Because my students, my kindergartners, when they start, and some of them are really young, they're in different grades in every period. Yeah. When my kindergarten start, like I have kindergartens that start, they understand the formula. And it's just one of those things that they would have to memorize. But again, we go through and understand how to read the abacus first. When we understand how to read the abacus, then we go into the next step, which is, okay, after we do this, then the next thing we do is we talk about how to make a 5, right? You already teach the kids how to make a 5. Am I correct? So we talk about the number bonds, right? And then we talk about the number lines. So before you start introducing the formulas, you talk about the how to gather the things. So the first thing I would do is say, okay, well, if I want to do 1 plus 4 or 2 plus 3, these are things that they have to memorize. So then it would be like a little game. If I have 4, right, this is where I got the cats in the tree. If I have 3 cats in the tree, how many cats are left? Right? I have 2 cats I need to put it in. So you can play like little games just so they can say, okay, if I have 4, right? What if I have 4 cats, 1 cat runs away. So there's like things that you can do to make it. So yeah, this looks like stuff we work on all year and they struggle. Yeah, but I think but I think when they, it depends on getting to this point, and then when they understand this point, then you can take it to the next level. So I mean, obviously, I don't work with intervention kids. So it is so it's up to you in how to incorporate it. But I do wonder if it's easier for them to see it, because you can also do. I'm trying to look for my stuff. You can also do like little blocks, right? And have them break it apart and put it together. But I wouldn't talk to them anything more than just what they need to do here. So that's why when I break it down, we only do +4, and then all the questions deal with adding the 4, so they can see that there is a pattern. So here, you know, I have 4, and then my question is there enough to add the 4? No, there's not. So what can I do? And so these are questions that would help them to structure their mind how to answer a question, because a lot of it relies on, do they have enough and what can I do? So there would be a couple of questions like, okay, if I have 2, can I add, and I want to add another 2, is there enough? Yes, there is. So then all I got to do is add the 2, right? So then, I mean, I don't know. It depends on how it's being taught, but that's how I would do it. And I don't know how difficult it would be for the kids to struggle. But I do know that I feel like that sometimes we introduce too many strategies, and they kind of get lost in the sauce. What is this specific abacus called? I like the colors. This one specifically is called a Japanese abacus, and it's just a multicolored 7 columns. There's one that's 13 columns, but it's a little bit overwhelming because it's a lot. If you plan on having it for your child, I would probably give this one to a child that's 3, 4, and 5. Maybe go up to 6 or 7. But when they get to like the bigger numbers, I would probably graduate them to a single colored abacus, and the single color abacus kind of helps focus on where the beads that they are. Show us what you would do if there's not enough. I know that's what you were doing before I came. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, see, okay, so that's the thing, right? So after the kids understand, either way, I'm going to learn from my daughter. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's the point, right? Because like I have 3 boys, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to teach them. But they didn't do they didn't do my worksheets, because being a young parent with young kids, it was just tough. But now I have a little more time to be creative because they're old now. They're old and smelly. Anyways, sorry. So let me go back to this. How old is your daughter, Keeks? Just so I can get an idea, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Actually, it doesn't matter. So I would say the same thing. Probably going up to like maybe 7 or 8. I'd probably say the same thing. Oh, you know what? I take that back. I'm going to say the same thing. So here, I have 2. When I have 2, right? My question is do I have enough? I don't have enough. Look at my abacus, right? I don't have enough beads to add 4, because I want to add 4. So what do? I have to go to the cats in the tree. When I go to the cats in the tree, this is the 5. I go to the cats in the tree, and I grab 4 cats. I use my fingers. I grab 4 cats. And 1 cat runs away. So that's the 1 bead. That's the 1 cat that runs away. And so then my answer is 6. 6. My answer is 6. How do I know? 5 and 6. It's the same thing. So then again, we would reinforce the number 4, right? We always focus on the add-in. We do not focus on the result. And I think maybe that's the issue, right? So because I was looking at a video, and they were like, oh, okay, 3, the question was 8 plus 5 plus 3. So it was 5, and then it was add the 3. And in abacus, it's like, do you have enough to add the 3? Yes, there is enough, so all I got to do is add the 3. But then in the video, they were very focused on the result. Yeah, this is 8, yeah! But on abacus, we don't focus on the result. We focus on the journey. We focus on the process. So the next question they had was 7 plus 1. So my question is here's my 7. Do I have enough to add the 1? Yes, I do. I have enough to add 1. So all I got to do is just add the 1. So they keep going with it, right? They keep going with understanding. They keep going with it. Then finally they did this one, right? Hi, David. the problem is this one is now we're talking about a formula. We're making a 5 formula. This is a different level than what we just did. This is where we start thinking about, okay, we don't want to know what the result is. We want to know what the add-in is. What do we do with the add-in? So we have a 4, and now we have a plus 4. Well, what do? I don't have enough beads to plus the 4. So what do? I have to go to the cats in the tree. When I go to the cats in the tree, that's the 5. I go to the cats in the tree and I add my 5. But when I grab 4 cats, 1 cat runs away. So 1 cat runs away, just like that. So, Fidesz squared. If you want, I do sell this abacus on my website. You can find my website in my bio. bio in my bio, and you can sign up for I gotta update my calendar, but I do offer like calendars and stuff. Calendar, where's my calendar? So I made a calendar and I gotta update it. That's what I gotta do. So I gotta make sure that I have to update it. So I made a little thing for abacus calendar, and I have like these prompt questions, like asking what the day is today. And I get the cats in the tree. Yeah, see, I get the cats in a tree. Yeah, that helps, right? Like the story actually helps. So this is my calendar that I made. So you get a full every quarter. You get and there's abacus, and you notice that the abacus. I don't know if you can see that the abacus. They're a little bit simplified. This one's simplified, but there's one that when there's not simplified. This is the regular abacus because you see all the extra beads. And so what I did was I made a calendar. So here's the question of the simplified. So this is the simplified abacus. So you notice there's a 6 here. Let me readjust. So there's my 6. And then if you look, the 6 is a little bit much. So this is the regular. Same idea. Oh, it's kind of like the same reckon rec where you take from the top to add the top. Yes. But in the reckon rec, do you do formulas? That's what I've always been wondering. Do you do formulas in the reckon rec? Because we go into making a 10. Yeah. So in abacus, we actually do making a 10, and we make a 10 and we make a 5. And so this adds to critical thinking, because we have to make sure when we're adding our stuff, we have to critically think, what are we trying to do? So now we have our making of the 5, and then this is making of the 10. And then what this means is we're actually doing a 2-step equation. So in this, abacus leads into learning a better. It introduces algebra. It just introduces algebra nicely. And so the other thing, what I noticed in the reckon rec, is that you don't actually talk about. I don't know what that means. Live unleashed with coins. Anyways, so. What am I saying? The reckon rec I don't think talks about the place values, whereas the abacus talks about the place values. So, kind of, right? For example, if I had 5 plus 7, I build the parts in separate rows. Yeah, if you had 5 and then you have 7 and then you add the 5, you could, right? You would have to break it up and you'd have to add the 5. So here, adding the 5 is kind of like it. So here, when we take the 5, we take the 3 from the 5 to add the 7. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is where we really lean into the concept of understanding how to make a 10, right? To make a 10, right? Then 5 more. It just sounds like it's so, no offense. It just sounds like it's so complicated. So here's my question, right? 7 plus 5, right? So here's my 5. This 5 I need to do. How do we make a 10? We take a 10 by 5 plus 5, right? We know this. This is something we know. So again, we're going to rewrite this. When I talk to the kids, this is what they have to memorize. Plus the 5 is equal to plus the 10 minus 5. This is what they have to memorize. That's it. That's what they have to memorize. Do I tell them? Nah. If they get it, they get it. They don't, they have to memorize. So what happens is they're going to start seeing the number pattern. So I have my 7. Now I want to add the 10. Adding a 10, they know that they have to go to the next column over no matter what. They go to the next column over, right? That's what the 10 means. Now we're going into carrying on and borrowing, right? So we're introducing the concepts of carrying on and borrowing, okay? So that's what we do is plus the 10. In abacus, we don't call it that. But in mainstream math, that's what we call. So you could, I mean, you could say borrowing, but, or you stick with just plus the 10, because the plus the 10 doesn't matter which 10 you are. It just matters right after. So right next to it is my 10. So what does that mean? Right here, I want to plus the 10. So I'm going to add my 10. I add the 1. And then I take away the 5. And then that's it. So my formula is what I have to memorize. When I see this, that's it. Because, I mean, what the Rec and Rec does, and it just seems really overwhelming. Ah, Luna Love Drunk. I see the 12. Yes, right? 12. Because there's a 1 and there's a 2. And we know that they're being added. Right? We know that they're being counted. Thank you, Helen. Then we know they're being added. They're being counted because it touches the horizontal bar. The horizontal bar is what tells us that these are the counted beads. But if you notice, I just need to do this. So we can do it in many different ways, right? We can do, I'm trying to think of another way. Oh, okay, yeah. So we have 8. We can do, let's do 9, right? We do 9 plus 5. Again, we have our 5. We know what we know what to do. What do? We go back to our formula. And then we rehearse it again. We have our 9, and then we need to plus the 5. Is there enough to plus the 5? No. There's not enough to plus the 5. What do? We go back to here. So we're building our foundation. This is something they have to memorize. So that's the formula for plus 5 if you're going to double digit. Yes, you're absolutely right. And then on top of that, okay, so let's do this, right? We plus the 5, plus the 10, minus the 5, right? Now, because we know this, because we know how to plus, we do extra. What does that mean? We do the reverse. We do the inverse. Helen, you're going to go 9 spaces to the left. Okay. I don't know what that means. 9 spaces to the left. Keeks. So going back to my thought process. So here we know this, right? We know how to add. After we add, we have to minus on the 9 plus the 10. Right. So it's plus the 10 and then take away the 9. Take away the 5. So when we do this, it's 9, and then our formula is plus the 10 minus the 5. Yeah. So this is the formula, plus the 10 minus the 5. And that's it. That's all we need to know. This is what gets ingrained into the children's the children's brain. So okay, so Keeks, going back. We're doing reverse. Now the inverse of this is minus the 5 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 5. See how there's a relationship? So now what's going to happen is, now we're borrowing, right? So now when we borrow, let's say we did 14, right? 14 take away 5. 14 take away 5. Is there enough to take away 5? Can I take away this 5, right? Can I take away the 5? No, I can't take away the 5. Hello, Sir Patrick. Welcome. I'm so happy to see you here. Okay, so can I take away the 5? No, I can't take away 5 because there's no more beads to take away the 5. Right? Makes sense? There's no more beads to take away the 5. So what happens? I go back to this formula. So I know the plus. Now I know the minus. So what do? I minus the 10 and I add the 5. Now I do the reverse. Right? So what you see is there's a number pattern. You will see the number pattern. The kids will see the number pattern. And as you work with the numbers more and more, they will see it. So it becomes more of, and they will see the number patterns. Perfect. Yes, thank you, Sir Patrick. I love your videos. It's regrouping without doing any work, really. Exactly, it's regrouping without doing any work, and it works all the way across, because you can even do it. Let's say we did 100, right? 150. 140 minus 50. It's the same thing. We don't say minus 50 is equal to minus 100 plus 50. We don't say it. I missed the lesson. No, Jess, you're okay. I really love your videos too. Sir Patrick, the kids are so exciting. Oh, I love it. Okay, so Keeks, back to this. Jess, we will get back to you if you hang on with me a little bit. So we'll do it, right? We'll do 140. Okay. Now, what are we going to do? because the abacus already tells me our place value, the only thing I need to look at is my place value. I want to take away 50. I want to take away 5. I want to take 0. So we bring it down. We simplify it. Abacus simplifies it and decomposes everything. So what we want to do is decompose it to the simplest form. Again, what happens, right? That's an algebraic thing. We want to simplify, right? We want to be able to find our multiplication facts, right? We want to find our factors. So we're building our algebraic understanding from this. So if you look, I want to minus the 5. Again, what do? I have to minus the 10 plus the 5. All I got to do is minus the 10. Minus the 10 just means I'm going to the next column over. Minus the 10 and then I plus the 5. So I minus the 10 and I plus the 5. So then my answer is 90. See how the place values work. When you put it on the abacus, the place values work for you, not against you. So you don't have to really think too hard. We just kind of understand the fundamental of this. I don't know if that makes sense. So, okay, Jess, back to you. Jess, you're okay. You're okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to count. We're going to count on the abacus. That's right. Oh yeah, that's right, right? It's just the fundamentals. But then when we get to the bigger numbers, I mean, these are small numbers, but when we get to the bigger numbers, can you show me 3 digits regrouping twice? I can if you can give me a question. Give me a question that you guys work with that regroups twice. And I can show you what I do on the abacus. Jess, we're back to Jess. So while Keeks looks for my question, if that's okay, I can talk about how to add. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read the abacus. So Jess, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? How do I know that we're doing this? Because it touches the horizontal bar. When it touches the horizontal bar, we know that's being counted. Are we okay? We're good? So then how do I know where 5 is? Well, 5 is the top beat. 5 is the top beat. How do I know? Because it's touching the horizontal bar. When it touches the horizontal bar, anytime a beat touches the horizontal bar, we're counting it. When you get to it. No, give me a question. Ah, perfect. Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. Okay, so here. Jess, so we're going to do 6, right? 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. And then what's after 9 is 10. 10 is just like how we write 10 and 0, right? We have our 1s and our 10s. Oh, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. We have a question. Is that's what it is? Regrouping twice? Honestly, we don't talk about it in abacus. We don't talk about the separate terminologies. But thank you, Sir Patrick. Okay, we are going to do this. We're going to do this. This will be awesome. Awesome. Yeah, so much. I'm so happy you're here, Sir Patrick. I'm just really happy you're here. I just want to let you know because I follow you and I know you follow me and we were talking. I was like, okay. So now, thank you so much for the question. So it's 489 plus 621 minus 304. 304. Now, one thing about mainstream mainstream math, what we do in mainstream math is he's got regrouping with adding, then for regrouping with subtracting. Yeah. So we can do the first thing. I'm pulling up to my next ODE with my bad boy. That's fantastic. Okay, so let me take it one step. So in Abacus, we do more than just 2 add-ins, right? So Keeks, are we okay just to do the first 2 then? Is that what we're going to do? So let me just do the first 2. So 489 plus 621. Okay, so we're doing that. So now, because in Abacus, we just take it as a whole. We do this and this and this, and then that's it, right? We don't do 1s, we don't do 10s, and we don't do 100s. We don't do that. We go it across as a whole. So I'm going to use my abacus to cover up the numbers. The reason why is so we don't get confused. So we have 4, 8, and then 9. Not a problem, right? So now what we're going to do is we are going to use our next number. We're going to go down here and we're going to add our number. So now it gets a little complicated because now we're starting to go into formulas that I may or may not have talked about because depending on whether or not whether you joined in or not, right? So if you bear with me, I'll go slow. So here we're going to add a 6. So is there enough beads to add the 6? No. What do we do? Well, to add the 6, we need to plus the 10 minus 4. Notice when we plus the 10 and when we do this 6 and a 10, that's how we make a 10, right? So when we make a 10, we're going to use it in our formula. This is a formula that the kids have to memorize. So we have plus the 10 minus the 4, okay? Because if you add the 10, it's too much. You have to take away the 4. So I'm going to take away the 4. So now I'm at the 2. Again, do I have enough beads to add the 2? No, I don't have enough beads to add the 2. I'm going to put my finger there so everybody can keep track, right? So then people are tracking. So my 2, right? 2 is equal to plus the 10 minus 8. There's a couple of more steps in between, but for this sake, I'm just going to do this because I don't want to confuse anybody. So what is the formula? The formula is when I want to add the 2, I need to plus the 10 minus the 8. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 8. Now where am I? I'm over here. Now I need to plus the 1. Again, do I have enough beads to add the 1? No, I have only 9. I don't have enough beads to add 1 more. There's no more beads to add. What do? Plus the 1, again, is the formula. Plus the 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus 9. Why the 4 was on the 4th column? Hold on. So then, plus the 10 minus the 9. So then my answer is 1,110. So that's my answer, 1,110. I know the formulas before you say them, so I'm learning over here. Okay, yeah. Okay, good. See, you know the formulas. Okay, so Ollie says, why the 4 was on the 3rd column? Because because I used the ones place right here. If you notice my ones place, there's my dot. My dot tells me this is my ones. So when I do it, you need to be strong when making tens. Yes, you need to be super strong making a 5 and making a 10. When you're really strong in that, everything works well. Everything works well. So Ollie never used an abacus. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But that's why we're here. We're all in my room just to talk about the abacus. That's all I talk about. Okay, so why was the 4 on the 3rd column? The reason why was because I use the dot as my ones. So my dot's my ones, so my ones, my tens, hundreds. So this is 400, right? 400 is over here. So I do my 9, 8, right? This is 9, 80, and then this is 400. That's why. Okay, so yes, it says, why did you start your ones in the middle? What's the use of the columns next to them? Oh, you know what this is for? When we do money, right? When we do money, like change. So we could do 25 cents. So we could do 25 cents. 25 cents. So if you notice my ones, my tenths, and my hundredths. So right here, if you notice my dot does not take a place, but my 2 and my 5 takes a place. So these are my place values. So this abacus goes up to the 10. This one, ones, tens, hundred, thousands. Yes, 10,000. Yes, you're absolutely right. There are those that goes higher. So this one is a 13 column one. You can start from here, see where the dot is, and you can have $1 trillion. Or you can start in the middle, and you can have ones, tens, hundred, thousands, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million, right? So it all depends where you deem the ones is, and the ones is, and that's how what we do with numbers, right? So if you started here, then this would be your decimals. All of these would be your decimals. For the younger kids, I would use this one, so it's not too much for their eyes. You could find one that's smaller like this, but they might get a little bit overwhelmed because there's so many columns. So, hey Jordan, welcome. Hi Brian. Yes, any more questions? Let me know. Let me know if you have any more questions. And to Ingeniero. I only see user 60. Let's subtract. Oh, let's subtract. Okay, you know what? Let's do that. We're gonna subtract. So I had So I'm going to continue, right? We're going to subtract. When we do an abacus, we go as wholes, right? We do this and then we do this. So let's subtract. We'll do these two. We can do these two, right? 621 minus 304. Easy. Easy. Let's subtract. Okay, you know what? Yeah. Okay, what? Okay, we'll do that. Let me change my paper. Anyway, I'm going to move it up. So, let's see. We do 6, 3, 4 minus 3, 6, 8. Okay. Same thing. So I'm going to cover it up because I don't want to get confused. So I have 6. So I do 6, 3, and then 4, right? Now I move it. So I do minus 3. So I'm going to do minus 3. Again, I don't have enough beads. Do I have enough beads to minus 3? So now this is where my plus 5 comes in, right? My plus 5 to minus the 3 is minus the 5 plus the 2. So this is the cats in the tree, right? I think I did flowers in a pot. So I did flowers in a pot. I don't know. I have to go back and review what I did. But I have another book that I have to go out and publish. So minus the 5 plus the 2. So I did my 3. That's my 3. Now I do 6. I take away the 6. Oh, your favorite engineer. Ah, oh, that's brilliant. Hey, Sephiroth. Minus 6. Is there enough to take away the 6? No, there's not enough to take away the 6. Again, what do? To minus the 6, right? Minus the 6 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 4. So minus the 10 and then plus the 4. Oh, I don't have enough beads. But remember how to plus the 4. I need to plus the 5 minus the 1. So what do? I plus the 5 minus the 1. See how they kind of, they merge together, right? They build on top of each other. This is a 5, this is a 10. This is making a 5, making it a 10. When you get that solid, doing adding and subtracting, there's nothing to it. So we're done with this, right? Now we're going to do the 8. Minus the 8. Again, there's not enough beads to minus the 8. What do? Minus the 8 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 2. Plus the 2. So I'm going to minus the 10 and I'm going to plus the 2. Again, how do I plus the 2? I don't have any more beads to plus the 2. Remember, in our making of the 5, we plus the 2 is equal to plus the 5 minus the 3. I almost got it wrong. Minus the 3. So plus the 5 minus the 3. So my answer is 266. Sephiroth. I just like that name, Sephiroth. Welcome, Jordan. Hi, Brian. Yasit, Sephiroth. 2, Engineerio, Helen, Oi, Ollie. Ollie, Cheeks. You lost me. Okay. Because the reason why is because now we're combining everything. Now we're doing two-step equations. So let's do it again. Let me get more paper. Let me get more paper. Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. Thank you so much. Hey, Sir Patrick, how long have you been doing math, abacus? How long have you been doing abacus? I've always wanted to ask. Great lesson. Yes. Okay. Nope. I need to make it like that. Okay. So let's do it again. Let's do it again with better lighting. Hopefully it's better lighting. 3, 4 minus 3. Can you do negatives? 1 year. 1 year. Woof. That's fantastic. Can you do negatives? You can't really do negatives because there's no, I mean, it would get really hairy really quick. You could, but it would get really hairy really quick. You know, like I wouldn't promote it. That's all I'm saying. 6, 8. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so is the abacus only for adding, subtracting? Is multiplication? Yes. Multiplication and division is very doable. We could talk about that in a little bit, depending on the people, depending on how we go. But I have been, in my other lives, I have gone to the part where we did multiplication and division. So this is an example of multiplication. So it is possible. It is very much possible. Okay, so I'm enjoying the lesson. I'm a former sped ed classroom teacher, struggling to find creative ways to help my daughter. I think this might work for her. Give it a try. That would be fantastic. Okay, so we're back to here, and we're going to do it again. So we're going to do it again because, it's nice to be able to review where we got lost. So again, I'm going to do 6, 3, and then 4. Okay, so this is what we're doing. So now we're going to take away minus 3, right? How old is your daughter, Helen? So here we're going to take away the 3. Did I do it wrong? Minus the 3. I want to take away the 3. I have enough. Oh, she's 8. That will work for her. You'd be going a lot faster. You'd be going a lot faster than a 5-year-old. But yeah, you could still. She would just has to be open to learning something different, and also just being open to learning up small. Yes, exactly, Ollie. So when I want to take away the 3, right? Minus the 3 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 2. So I'm going to take away the 5 and then plus the 2. So I'm done with the 3, right? I'm done with the 3, so I'm not going to do 6. So I have my 6, and I want to take away 6. You can't do it, so you take the 5. Exactly. So the process, I'm sorry, I forgot. The process is simple, meaning, can I do it? Is it a problem? The next thing you need to do, because a 3 will always have two formulas. A plus 5 formula is always the first one to think about. And then the other one is a 10 formula. Can you do the 5? No. Then can you do a 10? It doesn't go. You could do reverse, but then it gets complicated. Not complicated, but it gets overly. It gets complicated. It just gets overly done. So the process is first, second, and then third. It only happens for the 4, the 5, the 3, the 2, and the 1. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of these will have two formulas, no matter what. And it is up to us to figure out if we need to use the 5 or the 10. So we're back to 6. 6 minus 6 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 4. Yeah. So the first thing we do is we have to take away the 10 and plus the 4, right? So we take away the 10 and we're going to add the 4. Again, simple, right? Simple is, can I add the 4? No, I can't. So what do I do next? The next thing I do is my 5. Can I add a 5? Yes, I can add a 5. Hi, Aiden O. So I'm going to add the 5. So to do this, my formula for the 5 is plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. Right? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Keeks. So plus the 5 minus the 1. So I'm done with the 6. Now I'm on my 8. So I go to the 1s because that's where I go. So now, thank you so much for the follow, Aiden. Hey, scary monster. I didn't see you there. Pretty tasty. I don't know what that means. And then Miss Torres. Hello. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to take away the 8. We're going to minus the 8. Can we do it? No, we can't. What do we do? What can we do? Do we want to? No. Do we? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to chant those, the protesting ones. Okay, minus 8 is equal to minus the 10 plus the 2. Thank you for the follow, Helen. Thank you for the follow. Yes, take the 10. So this is where we borrow, right? In the mainstream math, we borrow. We take away the 10, and then we add the 2. Now, there's no 2. Exactly, but there's no 2. Now what do? Remember our 2 has 2 problems, so take it from the 5. Exactly. Thank you, Ollie. Yeah, right? It's so easy. See, that's the thing, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to plus the 5 and then take away the 3. Boom. This is such a good group. But it makes sense, right? It's just one step after another. But then that's the thing, right? Going through these math problems, we have to critically think and go through it. So it's no longer procedural, it's about critical thinking and analysis. So I was watching this one person and they were talking about manipulatives and they were talking about fractions and stuff and how it was easy for the kids to use the manipulatives and get the correct answer. And so, okay, you know what? Let's throw the manipulatives away and let's do it like in paper form. And it's like, okay, but then the kids didn't know what they were doing. So she realized that what they were doing with the abacus, with the manipulatives, like the tiles and stuff, they were doing it by procedural, and there was no real understanding. But in abacus, we have to go through these steps. We have to start talking and have a conversation with our question. Hi, Natasha, welcome. So, hey, Bone Thugs and Harmony came back. Woo. Okay, sorry. So in my head, when we start we should have a conversation with the numbers, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to solve it. So that's why it's not just do the question. It's, can we do it? How can we do it? Do we have enough? So there's more questions, and then that's where you build critical thinking and analysis. So that's why I really do believe in abacus. Yeah. Just like what we're doing right now. Like, you started going through, okay, what can I do and how can I do it? What can I do? How can I do it? So as you start going through these simple questions, they start thinking like other ways to do things. And I notice when I'm trying to go live on TikTok, or when I'm trying to find new things, my question is if other people can do it, well, how can I do it? You know what I mean? Like, if they can do it, how can I do it? And so this lays the groundwork for everything else. I just bought my kid. Woo! Thank you so much, Bone Thugs and Harmony. I just got my kids a preschool math from Amazon delivered. Woo! So exciting! Thank you so much. Let's do more. But wait, there's more. Okay, yeah. Let me know. I have questions, but do you have a book? I have the beginning book, which is what Bone Thugs and Harmony was talking about, and it's on Amazon. And it's under my name. My name is Lynette Young. That's my name. Hi. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate everybody here. I love the conversations. I love the conversations. Thank you so much, Sir Patrick. So, but yeah, so then Bone Thugs and Harmony. After this, when they finish doing the adding and subtracting, the next one would be this one. This is book 2. So I'm gonna have a book 1, but if you're doing this is already kind of book 1 for the preschoolers. Where did I learn my abacus? Where did I learn? I learned it from a franchise 20 plus years ago. So I've been doing abacus for 20 plus years, and my dad went to Korea. I'm not Korean, but my dad went to Korea. This lady says, you need to teach abacus to your kids because it's the greatest thing next to sliced bread. And he was like, what? And then he was like, well, okay, let me look for something to try to. So we actually bought a franchise from somebody in Canada to teach us. And they were very much like, just do the, memorizing. And so we have a school. I actually have a learning center that's right here in Southern California, and we teach abacus to kids. I've taught more than 2,000 children going through. But the thing is they I wanted to take it to the internet because internet's different. And now my kids are older. I have more time to create my worksheets. So these worksheets that you see, I really want to teach this to kids here where I live. Yeah. Hey, Dandelion, welcome. Yeah, and that was the thing is like, that's why I made these worksheets, because I wanted to be more interactive. And the worksheets that we have in Abacus is not very interactive. And so my kids didn't do this, but my students that I have now, what is the name of my learning center? AMA Learning Center. We're out in Monterey Park. Okay, hey, yeah, we're out in Monterey Park. And so my brother actually does the brick and mortar. And yeah, my brother is the one that does the brick and mortar, and I'm the one that does the abacus that's online, because I just think that I have a better, I don't know, I'm trying to reach out to more people outside the city. So so going back, so as Asian parents, as a Chinese parent, my dad was like, you're gonna learn how to do the abacus, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like, why? What is the point of this crazy thing? And as I started going through this journey of understanding what the abacus is, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is the greatest thing next to sliced bread, especially when I started understanding how to do the 5s, making of the 5, making of the 10. This was before Common Core. I'm in Long Island, New York. Woo, you're reaching pretty far. Woo, how old were you? When I learned it, I think I was like 27, 28. I got married, probably before I married, probably 27. I think I was 27. Amazing, I'm in Canada. Abacus skipped a generation from me. My parents didn't know abacus either. So yeah. Anyways, so Long Island, New York. That's funny. Keeks. I actually have relatives out in Brooklyn. Yeah, and what else? Oh, so it was the crazy thing was like my dad, he just forced us because he wanted to open up a business because he was thinking about his retirement because he was like getting old and stuff, right? But the problem was is he never learned it, so it was up to me and my brother to learn it. My brother and I both learned it, and we had conversations, but because we were kind of siloed. I mean, having the internet is now the greatest thing, right? But because we're siloed, it was just us talking, and then the person that was trying to teach us, and he was very he was very Chinese. It was just like, just do this, do this, do this, and you'll just get it. Whereas I feel like in America, in Canada, we want more conversations. We want more communication. We want more interaction with our math and stuff. I mean, that's why we started going to Common Core. And so my kids started Common Core. We didn't have a problem because a lot of what we do in Abacus is very Common Core like, and it was really an easy transition for us. And it was really exciting for me because I remember when I was learning math when I was young, we had to memorize our doubles, and then we had this whole thing like memorize your doubles. That's a strategy. Memorize your doubles and +1, and then memorize your doubles -1. But in Abacus, we don't do any of that stuff. What we do in Abacus is we learn how to utilize like building blocks. So we understand what the item, we understand the ingredients, right? When we understand the ingredients, like if we had eggs and milk, right? We can do anything. We can make a souffle, we can make a cake, we can make, pancakes, we can make muffins, right? So the idea was if you know your ingredients, then you can actually do what you can, and you become a chef of math. Whoa, chef of math. There was this one live that I had. They called me Mrs. Miyagi. So then what I started talking about was like when we do our making of the 5, that's waxing on. When we minus the 5, that's wax off. So I don't know if anybody watched Karate Kid, but that's what that reminded me of. So, I'm back to teach the kids. Yeah. So teach the kids, and then SoCal and Long Island and Canada. You know what? Funny. Whereabouts in Canada are you? I have paid more attention to you than I have in all my. Odie. I actually grew up in Canada, in Scarborough, Ontario. So I'm actually Canadian, but then I came to America. So then, but that's why you don't hear an accent, but because I've been in America. Oh, Toronto. Oh, hey. Yeah. I didn't I moved out of Toronto when I was 15. So I've been in America for a long time. Do 3 times 5. You can do 3 times 5, but you really need to know your math facts. What we could do is we could do it by additive. So we do 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. We could do that, right? Or we could do 5 plus 5 plus 5. We could do that too. So I did this with my kids, my own personal kids, because I wanted them to memorize, and they got tired of doing this. So what does that look like? Well, it's the same thing. So we have 3, right? I'm going to add the 3. So this is 3 plus 1, 3 times 1, right? We have to memorize the times table. So then we have this, right? 3 times 2. Add another 3. How do I add a 3? You plus the 5 minus the 2, right? So then we do 3 times 3. Notice I have enough beats to add the 3, so I'm going to add the 3. And then I'm here. 3 times 4. 3 times 4. So I add another 3. Is there enough? No. What do I do? Plus the 3 is equal to plus the 10 minus 7. So I plus the 10 and then minus the 7. And then I'm here. 3 times 5. So 3 times 5. Is there enough? No. So what do I do? Plus the 3 is equal to plus the 5 minus 2. Plus the 5 minus 2. That's what I would do for the 3 times table. They would have to memorize their multiplication math facts. They have to memorize their multiplication facts. That's just the way it is. That's how Abacus is done. Abacus only keeps your answer. It only keeps it, and it only tallies it up, if that makes sense. Yeah. Woo! Thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What about 461 times 263? Let's do it. Okay. I'm going to change my abacus because that's too small. All right. Just so everybody know, I have a hard 20 minutes because I have a class. I have a student at 6 o'clock at my time. So I will be logging off in about 20 minutes, just so everybody knows. Okay. But I will come back on later on tonight. I will see if anybody's still around. All right, so we're going to do 461 times that by 263. Easy. Easy. Why? Because the same thing. What we're going to do is we're going to find our starting point. What is our starting point? How do we count it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're at the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put my finger here just to keep track. Now, what we do is we do 2 times 4 first. And then what we're going to show you is I'm going to show you how to do partial product. Okay, so we're here. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 is a single digit, so I'm going to go back one column. So I go here. This is just a rule that we need to know, right? So I'm going to add my 8. 2 times 6. Okay, 2 times 6 is 12. So notice I add my 1 and I add my 2. What's next? 2 times 1 is 2. 2 is a single digit. So what do? I go back one column and I add the 2. Okay, so I'm done. I'm done. What does that mean? This is my partial product. I'm done with this. I need to reassess. So I'm going to take my fingers off. I'm going to reassess and figure out where I got to go. So because I've already finished my 2, I'm going to change to a different color so we can keep track. We got to reassess our numbers again. How many digits are we at? We're at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to count. I got to make sure that none of the beads are moving. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm over here now. Okay, so now we do this. We do 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is equal to 24. So I add my 2 and I add my 4. I add my 2. There's not enough to add the 2, so what do? Plus 2 is equal to plus the 10 minus 8. I'm just jumping, right? I don't want to go through. Do I have a 5? That's we know this, right? Because we're adults. So the process is if there's a 5, there's not a 5. If there's a 10, then do the 10. So I do the 10 and then minus 8, and then I have to plus the 4. So I'm over here and I add the 4. How do I add the 4? Plus the 4 is equal to plus the 5 minus 1. So I plus the 5 and I take away the 1. Right? So now I'm done with that. So what's next? 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. So I add my 3, I add my 6. Easy. I have enough beads, right? I add my 3 and then I add my 6. No problem. So what's next? 6 times 1. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 is a single digit. So I have to go back one column and I add my 6. Not a problem, right? We have that. So we're done with the 6. Again, this is my partial product. What are we going to do? We're going to reassess. I'm going to change a different color. I need to change to, let's do pink. So we have to reassess. Where are we going to start again? We're going to restart our starting point. How many digits do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So I'm going to move it down a little bit. Hopefully it won't mess up my answer. So we have 3 times 4 is 12. So I have to do 2 and a 1. Again, 1 is equal to plus the 10 minus 9. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 9. I go to here. I want to add the 2. Is there enough? No. What do? Plus the 2 is equal to plus the 10 minus 8. So plus the 10, take away the 8. I'm done with the 3. I'm sorry, I'm done with the 4. So I'm keeping my finger here because we need to keep track. 3 times 6 is 18. So I add my 1 and then I add my 8. I add my 1 and then I add 8. Is there enough? No. What do? Plus the 8 is equal to plus the 10 minus 2. So I plus the 10 and I take away the 2. No. Plus the 10, take away the 2. Yes. Plus the 10 and I take away the 2. Cannot take away the 2. Minus the 2 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 3. Minus the 5 plus the 3. And then 3 times 1 is 3. 3 is a single digit. Go back one column and I add 3. So there's my answer. Woo, that's a big answer. I think it is 1, 2, 1, 4. No, sorry, 1, 2. That's a 2. This is a 4, and this is a 3. And then I do my commas. Yeah, this is a little bit. It's a little bit. But again, it's the same thing. We know all of this. We just got to keep track of it in our heads. That's why one of the things I do for the children is I get them to say it out loud. Because if they say it out loud, it's easier to see. Yeah, this is above my understanding at this stage. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? You did see, though. You did see that all I did was adding a 10 or adding a 5. That's all I did. That's it. I'm throwing away my... and switching to this bag boy as a tool. That is funny. That's funny. But you know, just so you know, they're very easy to move. So if you don't hold your abacus, your whole answer gets all messed up. And my kids, they were so mad when my brother would go around and they would just do this, and they would be like, come on. Then they have to start over again. Because the problem is the questions get big and they get long. So in abacus, we actually have like 10 digits. I'm learning a lot. Oh, thank you. Can you divide an abacus? Yes, we can divide an abacus. I'm sorry. So going back to my thought, there's like 10 add-ins, and we would have to go through the abacus and start doing it all. And it, you know, it what does it do? It activates the brain and stuff, but it gets a little mind numbing, you know, after a while. There goes my rainbow. That's the abacus for me. Yeah, right? There goes my rainbow. That's the abacus. Yeah. Oh, it will be a bad day for a classmate to bump it. Yeah, right? Bumps into my desk. I will tell you. Yeah. Yeah. There was one where, yeah, my brother is really mean like that. Okay, so division. Let me do a division question. Let me do a previous division question, because divisions, it's nice when there's a 0 at the end. So, because it does remainders, but then you don't know how far it goes. So with all my lives, I've done... Sorry. You know what? I'm going to do over here. So I have these ones. This ones would be easy. This would be easy. Easy peasy. See? Simple to use. Easy to understand. It's almost 2 a.m. here in Iceland, and I'm enjoying the lesson. Thank you so much. It's 2 in the morning. Holy cow, man. Why are you learning math in such a late hour? Morning hour. That's nuts. 2 divided by... No. Okay, yeah, you know what? That's a good one. That's easy. Same here. Sir Patrick. Okay. So, 12 divided by 4. You could do this way. It doesn't matter, right? You could do that way or you could do this way. 4 by 12. It's 2 a.m. in Ghana. Oh my God, you guys are so nuts. I'd be asleep. There's like no way, right? Like, okay, just so everybody knows, this will have to be my last one, and then I gotta get ready for my class, because I have a class at 6. And my student is 4 years old. Oh, let me show you what I did. I don't know if, Sir Patrick, I don't know if you have a computer. Anyways, so here, this is what I did for my student. I'm kind of excited for it. It's kind of cool. The reason why was because he doesn't have his abacus with him and he's on vacation. I was like, okay, well, whatever. So I had to make it more, I have to make it on the computer. So here's my link. Let me, and this is like super easy. Like, new. Come on. Where's my new? No, no. Sorry. I'm not. No, that's not it. Okay, let me do this. So here. So here's, I made this in Canva. It's so easy. It's simple. It's simple. It's super simple. He's only 4. Oops, sorry. He's only 4. So all it is just he goes through and then I have them, and this is like a template in Canva. It's kind of cool. And so here I just have it where I show him what the abacus is, and I've already answered it. That's why it's already answered here. But the idea is to have him answer it, and then he will see what it is. So the answer here is 2. So then 2, and then he goes to the next one. And then the answer is here, right? 2 plus 1 is 3. So he has to click on the answer 3, and that's the correct answer. So that's the little thing I had to do for him really quick because that's the, anyways. Okay. Okay. Whew. Let's see. Oh, I needed to find my answer. Oh, sorry, I'm here. So the first thing I need to do is I need to find my starting point. Again, why do I need to find my starting point? That's one of the things is in Abacus, we need to find our starting point. It'll be easy. We could do it with this one. Not a problem. So I'm surprised they don't have a digital abacus. They do have digital abacus, but it's not the same because, you don't get that full muscle memory thing. Okay. So, hold please. Let me do the verification. And then after this, I gotta go. Okay. Yeah. You can find digital abacus. Just do a search on the internet and you'll find it. But not for young kids, I wouldn't do it. How does it become muscle memory? Because when you move the beads, you know that it's this, and it's also you get to see the pattern, right? So when you look at the beads, just like on a record rec, right? You move the beads. So okay, back to here. So we have to find our starting point. Now it's different because we're doing minus. We have to take away the digits. So we have 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is here. So is equal to 1. So what we're going to do is my answer will be right here. That's where my answer will be. So the first thing I need to do is I need to put my dividend onto the abacus because my dividend is what I'm going to take away. Oh, this is not going to work. Why? Because 1, 2. Because it just comes out. Okay, I'll just continue. So what is the question? The question is who is bigger? My dividend, which is, I'm going to label it as E, because I can't say D, right? And my divisor, which I'm going to say S. So the question is who is bigger? My dividend, I only need to look at the one digit. And then my divisor, which is only 1. My divisor is bigger. So what I do is, since my divisor is bigger, my 4 is bigger, I have to utilize 2 columns. That's it. That's one of the rules. Because I utilize 2 columns, and then the question is, what times 4 is equal to 12 or less? And it's 3. So I add my 3 and I take away 12. This one's not it'd be better if it was a bigger number. Let me see if I can find one. Let me do one more. Yeah, did that make sense? Okay, here's a better one. Okay, this is it. Last one, for sure. No more. This is it. Last one. Okay, it's 256, divide that by 4. Okay, now we're talking, right? Now we're doing something with it. So, again, what are we going to do? We got to find our starting point. Yeah, that's going to work. So our starting point, there's 3 and there's 1. So our starting point is 2, right? Because we have 3 digits and then minus 1 digit is 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our answer on the second column. That's our tens column. This is where our answer is going to start. That's how it is. That's going to start here, right? So what we do is we have to put our answer, our dividend. Oh, I forgot. My dividend and my divisor, right? We got to put our dividend on the abacus because we're going to start taking it away. So we have 2, 5, and then 6. Okay. So now the question is who is bigger? Who is bigger? My divisor or my dividend? I'm only looking at the one number. Why? Because that's all I need. I don't need more. I don't need to do 25. I don't need to know. I just need to know the very simplest thing that I need to do. So I'm going to do it this way. E and S, right? My divisor is 4. My dividend is 3. 2. So my divisor is bigger. Now I know I'm going to use 2 columns. So these are the 2 columns I'm going to utilize. So my question goes, what times 4 is equal to 25 or less? 25 or less. We say less because it's easier, because you're going to subtract, right? You can't subtract a larger number. It can't be 36 take away 25. It's got to be less, right? So the closest number to 25 is 24. So it's 4 times 6 is equal to 24, right? So I'm going to add my 6 to my answer. I'm going to add my 6 to my answer. There's my answer. Now I have to take away 24. So just like we do long division, but it's on the abacus. So we take 20 and we take away 4. Again, what do? We don't have enough b's to take away 4. Minus the 4 is equal to minus the 5 plus the 1. Minus the 5 plus the 1. So now I'm done. No, I'm not. Because I still have dividends. Because I still have dividends, I have to reassess. When I reassess, I look. 1 is my dividend. 4 is my divisor. What do? I compare. So I'm going to change to a different color. So what do? Who is bigger? My divisor is 4. My dividend is 1. Who is bigger? Who is bigger? I'm over here. Let me know in the chat who is bigger. Whew, there's still 8 people in this room. Whew. All right, divisor. Divisor. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Taco Guy. Yes, divisor. Yes. Because, and then what do? Again, I take two columns. These are the 2 columns I'm going to take. So because it's my divisor, I'm going to be here. So the question is 4 times what is equal to 16 or less? 4 times 4, right? Thank you. Thank you, Sir Patrick. So I add the 4 and I take away 16. Take away 1 and then take away 6. And that's it. But you know why? You know why it's easier? Because in Abacus, we do what's natural to us. We know our multiplication table. We don't learn our division table. There is a division table, but we don't learn division table. So when we do this in mainstream math, I don't understand. Why do we say, how many times can 4 be divided in, how many times can 24 be divided into 4? Like that's not how we think. That's not how we learned. We learned 2 times 4 is, 4 times 2 is 6. Like we learned that. This is like drilled into our memory. So why do we have to go this way when we just say, find the missing factor? It's easier to find the missing factor. So in Abacus, we find the missing factor. So my answer is 64. 64. So that was a little bit of a rant. But yeah, there's some things in mainstream math that I don't understand why we do it. And it's just one of those things, like when we don't learn 24 divided by, we don't have a division table. 24 divided by 4 is 6. We don't have this. You know what I mean? What we have is multiplication table, and that's what they drill into us. And if they drill into us, then I don't understand, why don't we utilize it? We detected, what? Okay. We detected inactivity during your current live. Complete the following verifications. Hopefully I did it. Hopefully I'm still there. Okay, but I do need to leave. I do need to go. I hope it was okay for everybody. Does that make sense? Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the lesson, Lynette. Thank you. Get ready for your lesson, and I'll see you next time. Yeah, thank you. I'm so happy you joined. It was just one of those things I wanted to make sure, because I was like thinking about the whole intervention stuff. Yeah, goodbye. It was great. Oh, fantastic. And you guys, so late. Go to bed. Thanks, Lynette. I enjoyed this lesson. I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sir Patrick, for joining. I do appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And thank you so much for liking my lives and staying with me and having a conversation about Abacus. But I do get a little bit upset with, like, math and stuff, like mainstream math. Like, why do we do it this way? It doesn't make sense. But the other one was to do it the other way. Okay, I gotta go. I do talk a lot. So thank you again for everybody for joining me. I will see everybody next time. Thank you for the follow. Thank you so much for the hearts and the... I do appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts and thank you for everything. When is the next time? I'm not sure. Just follow me. Bye, Sir Patrick. Just follow me, and you'll get notified when I come on. I'll probably come on later tonight, which is 8 o'clock for me. No, it's 6 o'clock for me now. I'll probably be on another couple of hours from now. So that's what I'm thinking. But it does depend on how. Anyways, okay. So thank you again. Go ahead and follow, and I will see everybody next time. Thank you again. Thank you. End now.